Byatikram, we are celebrating Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan's birthday. In this occasion, we tribute all the teachers, mentors, educators and mothers who have taught us every lesson of our life. I, Arjuna from Byatikram, feeling honored to present you a series initiated by Byatikram Group and India Tourism. Our today's theme is traveling as a part of education. Here, we have placed few questions to the teachers and students around Northeast. Now let us explore what their views are. Thank you once again and welcome to our show.
It's my pleasure that Byatikram Group, in collaboration with Incredible India, has chosen me to answer a few of the questions that they have raised to me, in which these questions are: do you have any ideas about traveling teachers, and how do you think that such travel helps children the world around? Well, my answer to the first question is that yes, I do have an idea about traveling teachers, for which I myself also have traveled with students around. And the response to the second question is that as a faculty of social work in St. Edmund's College Long, I can only share my experiences where we do travel together with students, especially for rural camps, for fieldwork agency visits and for study tours, for which these activities are, they are part and parcel of the curriculum of social work all around the world. And I would like to share a bit of my experiences with regards to rural camp, where we do take children, or I can say like students, because they are not, below 18 years. Like when we take these students, usually we take them for rural camps, which usually last for a week or 10 days. And when we go to these rural camps, it's usually the main purpose of such camps is to acquaint students with the rural life, their livelihoods of the people out there, and also to make them understand what is the social, cultural, political and economic aspects that people face in these villages. When students are usually, in the company of teachers where they stay in the rural areas, and when they get themselves involved together with the people, so that by understanding the people and the problems faced by the rural people, these students get a chance to plan, organize and implement certain developmental programs for the development of the rural village. And it's not only in rural camp that, where we go together with students, we also accompany students in fieldwork organizational visits or field agency visits, and also in study tours. Now, these two have this they're somewhat similar but totally different when it comes to areas of visitation, because fieldwork agency visits usually takes place within the state, and study tours usually takes place outside of the state where the educational institution is present, or it's like educational domicile. Okay, so what usually happens out here in these agency visits is that teachers along with the students are visiting different types of organizations where they do meet professionals who are working in the social developmental sectors. Now, when we visit these organizations, students are encouraged to have an interaction with these professionals working, so that students get to have a first-hand learning in order to gain knowledge on how to work with the people, or how to how to run an organization when they pass out from all of these studies of social work, and also to exactly understand the social and cultural problems that people have and how they can deal with them with the help of professionals. And also, it's not only about understanding people. To me as a teacher, I feel that traveling with students help not for the students in terms of knowledge with regards to theories or theoretical learning, but also, students get to learn about themselves a lot. We get to experience that students, they, when we have such travel, it brings a lot of group experiences among the students, because they will not be traveling alone. They will be in a group of 40 to 50 students, along with teachers accompanying them, in which we have seen that such travels brings about group experiences where students learn to accommodate among themselves with each other, and where they get to share their interests, their views, and also their limitations. Particularly, it brings about self-learning in the student, and on how to relate to different people who might be coming from different backgrounds, different culture, different language, or different religions. And also it helps to adjust. It helps the student to adjust to new situations and issues which they may encounter. So that is what, I have my experience. I have had my experience. So that is all that I can say when we talk about teachers traveling, especially with students.
Hello everyone, I am Shubhami Goswami. I am pursuing BA in Psychology, English and Theatre Studies from Christ University, Bangalore. And I am a Satriya dance exponent and a theatre enthusiast. And today the topic is traveling is the best part of education. And yes, indeed, traveling is the best part of education. And I'd like to say that when we read or study something, we see it only theoretically. But when we travel, we explore and see it practically. Traveling has many benefits. It pushes us out of our comfort zone. We learn to balance our budget. We learn time management. We talk to different types of people from all walks of life, background and cultures. We understand the difference between our wants and our needs. And sometimes we get to learn a new language. The world becomes our classroom and our experiences our teacher. And we get to learn a lot about the other cultures. We learn from the nature, we learn social skills, we learn communication. And traveling teaches us a lot. And therefore, traveling has many benefits. It boosts our self-confidence, it broadens our horizon, it creates memories for lifetime. And travel gives us the opportunity to broaden our knowledge. So, at last, I would like to conclude by telling you that keep traveling, keep exploring, and it will really help us in and create wonderful memories for our lifetime. Thank you.
শিক্ষাৰ কথা যেতিয়া আমি কওঁ, শিক্ষাটো কেৱল চাৰিবেৰৰ মাজত সীমাবদ্ধ হৈ থাকিব নোৱাৰে। শিক্ষা আহৰণ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে আপোনাৰ বিভিন্ন দিশৰ ওপৰত গুৰুত্ব দিবলগীয়া হয়। সেইকাৰণে শিক্ষাত ট্ৰেভেলিং বা ভ্ৰমণ বা এক্সকাৰশ্যন বা ফিল্ড ট্ৰিপ বুলি আমি যি কওঁ, সেইটো বহুত বেছি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট হয়। আৰু সেইটো এটা এনেকুৱা দিশ য'ত প্ৰত্যেকটো ষ্টুডেণ্টৰ লগতে টিচাৰো এনজয় কৰে, যিটো কৰাৰ ফলত আমাৰ মাইণ্ডটো যথেষ্ট ৰিফ্ৰেছ হয় বা ষ্টুডেণ্টটোৱে বহুত বেছি বস্তু এটা ভালকৈ নিজৰ চকুৰে দেখি বা প্ৰেক্টিকেলি ফেচ কৰি জ্ঞান অৰ্জন কৰিব পাৰে। সেইকাৰণে মই ভাবোঁ চাৰিবাৰৰ শিক্ষাৰ লগতে ট্ৰেভেল কৰি মানুহে বহুত বেছি শিকিব পাৰে বা এনজয় কৰিব পাৰে। থেংক ইউ।
Everyone, myself Raj Paul, and I am a science teacher in a Bright Tutorials, and I am also a computer science engineer. It's my pleasure to be a part of Byatikram group in collaboration with Indian Tourism, and I am really very thankful to Byatikram group for giving me this wonderful opportunity to talk about how traveling and teaching goes hand in hand. Almost every one of us agree that life's real education happens outside the classroom. In fact, traveling is the best way to learn things and the things that really matter to us. So today I am going to talk about few reasons how traveling and teaching goes hand in hand. One of the most important aspects of traveling is that we get to learn about the world that is today. Right? Travel teaches us not just about the world that was at past, but then the world that is today. Right? So we also learn social skills. We may be a little shy and find it really difficult to engage ourselves socially, but then traveling will change that. As things like talking to a complete stranger is not an option while traveling but a necessity. Right? We also even get to learn about ourselves while traveling. Probably we get to know who we actually are and what we really enjoy doing, and we also get to learn about our potentials. Right? We also learn to be independent. Right? So these are some of the reasons why traveling is equally important in education, and that's all. Thank you.
Hello viewers, I am Mrs. Maushmi Kaur, teaching in Silvendale Secondary School, Nongra, Shillong. First of all, I would like to wish all the teachers around the world a very happy Teachers' Day. I am grateful that Byatikram Group in collaboration with India Tourism has organized this program on this special day. And I am also grateful that Byatikram Group has given me this opportunity. I was given a question, and my question is, how can the students gain if their teachers have many travel stories? Now, first of all, I would like to say what a teacher is. What is a teacher's job? First of all, a teacher must have knowledge in various fields so that he or she can make the classroom teaching more interesting and knowledgeable. Now, when a teacher travels around the world, a teacher gathers knowledge from different parts of the world, from different parts of various countries, different corners. And the teacher can put all this together in the classroom to make the classroom teaching more interesting. A trip to abroad expands our worldview, connects us to the global community, and empowers us to be most authentic and forward-thinking self. A travel experience gives an opportunity to gain valuable insights into cultures that can support learning in the classroom, as well as provide a level of rewarding engagement for the students. When a teacher has many travel stories, a teacher can share it in the classroom. A teacher can share different photographs that the teacher took during its visit, and this will allow intercultural understanding. It allows to share our wisdom with students, inspiring and encouraging others to chase their passions and dreams. The travel stories and learnings can awaken students to what the world has to offer. It also offers insights into various traditions and values of cultures, helping students recognize new ideas. Where there are different cultures, different communities in different countries, and there we get to learn many things from different communities. There are many things that we can learn from the different cultures. We will also be able to expose the differences and the similarities between various countries and the cultures around the world. Thank you.
Traveling is indeed the best part of education, as traveling opens up our mind. Traveling helps us to explore different places. It helps us to meet and talk with different people, understand their culture, share our cultural views and beliefs with them. And also traveling actually helps us to learn certain new things that are not available to us in our immediate circumstances. Well, I personally believe that traveling has always helped me to become curious about other things, to become curious about how a particular tribe lives, how a particular culture survives in our country, how a particular place and how the people stay there, or how the people are accustomed to certain beliefs. And moreover, traveling actually helps us to feel relaxed. So it is also a kind of after effect. For example, after traveling for like a month or two, or when we go out on a vacation, when we come back from our trip, we actually feel more relaxed. So it will actually help us to focus more on our duties and activities. So I believe that traveling has always and will always be a best part of education.
Namaskar. I am Dr. Nami Das, working as an assistant professor in the prestigious Umshipi College, Shillong, Meghalaya. I completed almost 16 to 17 years in my teaching profession. Also, I worked as a casual Hindi and English announcer in Northeastern Service All India Radio and Gyanvani FM. Some of my poems and short stories were also published in some books and magazines. I am very much grateful to Byatikram Group in collaboration with India Tourism for organizing such a wonderful program on account of Teachers' Day. They gave a chance to the teachers to share their views through Byatikram personal Facebook channel, to give me such a wonderful chance to share my views on this auspicious occasion. On this special day, to put forward my views on whether there is a relation between teaching and traveling, I would like to agree to the statement that yes, there is a big relation between teaching and traveling. In classroom, we generally teach the students according to the material furnished in their textbooks, but when I have an outer knowledge regarding the topic, it makes teaching more interesting. This outer knowledge is only gained through traveling. So, when I travel back home, I have a bag full of knowledge. And when I open the bag of knowledge in front of my students, it makes them more interesting and more knowledgeable. So on that way, I think there is a big relation between teaching and traveling.
নমস্কাৰ, মই মিলন কলিতা। মই দিল্লী বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ৰ ৰাজনীতি বিজ্ঞান বিভাগৰ দ্বিতীয় বাৰ্ষিকৰ এজন ছাত্ৰ। বিক্ৰম ডিজিটেলৰ প্ৰযোজনাত এই যিটো ট্ৰেভেলিং ইজ দ্য বেষ্ট ৱে অফ লাৰ্ণিং শীৰ্ষক অনুষ্ঠানটি আয়োজন কৰা হৈছে। তাৰ বাবে এই ভিডিঅ'টো প্ৰেৰণ কৰিবৰ বাবে মোক কোৱা হৈছিল আৰু সেইবাবে এইটো দিছোঁ। আৰু মই এই কথাই ক'ব বিচাৰোঁ যে আমি শিক্ষাৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত আমি অকল অধ্যয়ন কৰিলেই নহ'ব, আমি কিতাপ কিতাপী বিদ্যা বা কিতাপৰ অধ্যয়নতে আমি যদি নিজকে সীমাবদ্ধ কৰি ৰাখোঁ হয়তো আমাৰ সেয়া শিক্ষা হয়তো এক আধৰুৱা শিক্ষা হ'ব। সেইবাবে আমি বাহিৰলৈ ওলাই যাব লাগিব। অভিজ্ঞতা, আমাৰ অধ্যয়নৰ লগতে অভিজ্ঞতা অত্যন্ত প্ৰয়োজনীয় আৰু সেইবাবে আমি বাহিৰৰ জগতখনলৈ ওলাই যাব লাগিব। আমি অকল অসমৰ ভৌগোলিক বৈচিত্ৰ্যৰ কথা পঢ়িলে নহ'ব, অসমৰ নদ নদী, অসমৰ নদী উপনদী, লগতে অসমৰ জান জুৰি নিজৰা, অসমৰ পাহাৰ পৰ্বত সকলো বিষয়ে জানিবলৈ আমি নিজক সেই সমলবোৰলৈ লৈ যাব লাগিব। তেতিয়াহে আমাৰ যোনটো শিক্ষা, সেই শিক্ষাটি পূৰ্ণাংগ শিক্ষা বুলি আমি নিজকে ক'ব পাৰিম। সেয়াই ক'লোঁ, ধন্যবাদ।
I'm Miss Janaiman Linkoy and I'm from Shillong, Meghalaya. I'm a teacher and I've been teaching for almost 10 years. At present, I'm teaching at Silverdale Secondary School, Nora, Shillong. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Byatikram Group in collaboration with India Tourism for giving me this opportunity to say something regarding empowering me to pursue life-changing experience around the world, leaving positive mark on the communities I have visited. We have seen the rise of Silicon Valley, startup culture and virtual working. We now live in a world where the largest taxi company owns no car, Uber. The largest movie provider owns no cinema, Netflix. And the largest social media network, Facebook. For today's businesses, agility is everything, and only the bravest innovator rise to the top. We're also anticipating robotics, automation, and artificial intelligence, which are likely to have profound, lasting impacts on the nature of work, life, and education. It's easy to be worried by this, but it's better to be inspired. If we can equip our students with technology, fluency, high-level knowledge, skills, and agile minds that embraces innovations, creativity, and market disruption, they will be ready to face almost anything. Thank you.
Namaskar, I am Shivangi Ratna Borua, a mental health enthusiast, a psychology graduate, and an Indian classical dancer. I am very much thankful to the whole team of Byatikram Digital for having me for their show on the topic of how traveling can be the best part of our education as a student as well as a teacher. On the onset, I must say that traveling is not only an enjoyable experience, but it is a very great teacher for each one of us. In fact, when we travel to a place multiple times, or we need to travel on an everyday purpose, whether it be a rural or an urban area, we learn many things. Yes, it is also true that traveling to different places can teach us a lot, including the language that we hear, the food habits that we know, the dress that we see, the variety of the culture that the respective places people have. We also have and get the opportunity to propagate our own culture. In the history of Assam, Mahapurush Srimanta Shankardev traveled extensively to the whole other parts of India as well as to the oriental countries. I, being a student and a performer of Satriya dances and the Bharatanatyam dances, has got the opportunity to travel to many other states of India, as well as in promoting our beautiful Satriya culture. So I have found that many people desire to know about our beautiful Assamese culture or the Assamese Sanskriti. They are so interested to know about this Satriya dance form from Assam, because if we see, the whole of northeastern region contributes to the 25% of the Indian classical dance forms that one is the one being the Satriya dances from Assam, and the Manipuri dance from Manipur. And another thing that I have learned through this journey and traveling is how to manage time, because every time we go for a journey or travel, money is what time is money for every journey, because we need to gather a lot of experience and learn a lot within limited time. So this is what I have learned, and I am still learning, and I hope I get to see many more places and different culture, and as well as teach and promote my own Assamese culture, and also about the Satriya dances of Assam. Thank you so much, friends. Keep traveling, acquire more knowledge, and it is even possible that being a teacher, we can be a student of the experience, and being a student, we can be a teacher of our own experiences that we share with others. Thank you so much. Keep traveling and be safe. Namaskar.
নমস্কাৰ, মই প্ৰাৰ্থনা দেৱী। মই গ্ৰেজুৱেশ্যন কৰি আছোঁ ইন এডুকেশ্যন। আজি এই ভিডিঅ'টো এটা বিশেষ টপিকৰ ওপৰত বনাইছোঁ, সেইটো হৈছে ট্ৰেভেলিং ইজ এ বেষ্ট পাৰ্ট অফ এডুকেশ্যন। হয়, ট্ৰেভেলিং ইজ এ নন ফৰ্মেল এডুকেশ্যন, বাট ট্ৰেভেলিং কৰিলে আমাৰ লাইফৰ এক্সপিৰিয়েঞ্চবিলাক আমি পাওঁ। এটা ক্লাছৰুম এনভাইৰনমেণ্টত ইমানখিনি আয়ত্ব কৰা দিগদাৰ হয়, যিমান আমি ট্ৰেভেল কৰি জ্ঞান অৰ্জন কৰিব পাৰোঁ। ট্ৰেভেল ইজ এ বেষ্ট টিচাৰ বুলি মই ভাবোঁ। আৰু এটা চাইল্ড প্ৰভাৰ্ব আছে, ৱেন আই হিয়ৰ আই ফৰগেট, আই চি আই ৰিমেম্বৰ, আই ডু আই লাৰ্ণ। ঠিক তেনেদৰে যেতিয়া আমি ভিজিট কৰিম, প্ৰেক্টিকেলি ভিজিট কৰিম এই জেগাবিলাক, তেতিয়াহে আমি গম পাম যে আমি কিমান ৰৈ যায় বুকিছ নলেজতকৈ, আৰু কিমান জানিবলৈ ৰৈ যায়। আৰু যে কলেজবিলাকত এক্সকাৰ্ছনছ থাকে, সেইটো চাগে বেষ্ট পাৰ্ট হয়। আৰু মই ভাবোঁ প্ৰত্যেকগৰাকী ছাত্ৰী আৰু প্ৰত্যেকটো ছাত্ৰই সেই পাৰ্টটো ইনভলভ হ'ব লাগে, বিকজ তাত বহুতখিনি শিকিব পাৰি। ফাৰ্ষ্ট অফ অল, ট্ৰেভেলিং কৰিলে আমি ডিফাৰেণ্ট কালচাৰ, ডিফাৰেণ্ট লেংগুৱেজ, ডিফাৰেণ্ট ফুড হেবিটছ শিকিব পাৰোঁ। দেন চবতকৈ ডাঙৰ কথা, ছ'চিয়েল স্কিলছ আমাৰ বাঢ়ে, যেনেকৈ ইণ্টাৰেক্টিং উইথ ডিফাৰেণ্ট পিপল, আমাৰ তেতিয়া কমিউনিকেশ্যন স্কিলছটো বাঢ়ে, ছেল্ফ ডিপেণ্ডেণ্ট হয়। আৰু নিজকে চবতকৈ ডাঙৰ কথা যে এইটোৱে যে আমি নিজকে চিনিব পাৰোঁ যেতিয়া আমি ট্ৰেভেল কৰোঁ। তো সেইটো কাৰণে মই ভাবোঁ যে ট্ৰেভেলিং ইজ এ বেষ্ট পাৰ্ট অফ এডুকেশ্যন, এণ্ড উই মাষ্ট এক্সপ্ল'ৰ দ্য ৱৰ্ল্ড ছ' ডেট উই কেন গেইন নলেজ এণ্ড উই কেন এনজয় our life to the fullest. Thank you.
Namaskar. I am Jaya Bhattacharjee, working as a TGT maths teacher in a well-known renowned institution, Kendriya Vidyalaya ESC Upper Shillong. Teaching is my passion, and I have been to this profession since last 17 years. Today, I am honored that Byatikram Group in collaboration with Indian Tourism, has given me an opportunity to express my views on the topic traveling as a part of education. They have forwarded me a question and had asked my opinion on that. The question is education tour important for students? To answer this, I want to quote myself with the famous saying, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, and I do, I understand. This concept is very much true in a teaching learning process. Inside the classroom, students get to know about new ideas, new concepts. But outside the classroom, a student explores and experiences. As a maths teacher, I have observed that when we relate any mathematical problem with a real life situation, the student understands it in a better way. At the same time, if the student gets an opportunity to go outside and relate the mathematical problem with the outside world, they will understand it in a more better way and the teaching learning process will be more fruitful. Now, for example, you can take an example. Suppose as a maths teacher, when we teach children about geometrical shapes and symmetry inside the classroom, while teaching learning process is going on, the student understand the concept, but actually they are unable to relate it with outside world. So in such cases, if the students can be taken out and they are allowed to visit those places where geometrical shapes and symmetry has its significance, then they can relate it with real life and they will understand the concept in a more better way. For example, we can take if some students some students are staying towards Delhi side or Agra side, and the concept of geometrical shape and symmetry are going on inside the classroom, the teacher can easily take them to Taj Mahal or Jantar Mantar, where the whole monuments of Taj Mahal is based on geometrical shapes and symmetry. So children will see that thousands of years ago also these shapes has its own importance. Now I would like to tell you about some benefits of educational tour. Firstly, educational tour is an effective tool for learning. While inside the classroom, learning may give them an opportunity to apply their learning in a hypothetical manner. An educational tour, on the other hand, makes students face the real life situation. Secondly, it helps children to exchange their ideas through group discussion, not only amongst the peers group or classmates, but also with new people. Real life experiences like educational tours to Science Museum, Museum of History and Art, to any research center or factory are priceless. They make learning colorful and real. Educational tours also helps in personal development. An educational tour, the comfort of home and school, fosters independence, leadership skill and communication skill. Educational tours also help children to understand the various social issues around the world. It gives the student a better grip on the local and global issues. They also come across different cultures and religions and learn how to respect them. So, according to me, educational tour is very important and essential for a fruitful teaching learning process. And lastly, once again, I want to thank Byatikram Group for making me an integral part of this program. Thank you.
fellow viewers. This is Nivedita from Difu Karbi Anglong. Here in Difu, me and some of my friends and well-wishers, we run an organization by the name of Shopnuluk, where we help and support the needy students in their studies by providing free education. Today, I'm very much honored to be a part of such an innovative program on Teachers' Day by Byatikram in the collaboration with Incredible India. Thank you. My question was, do you think that the teachers should travel and how it helps in teaching? So I would like to share my opinions here. I think teachers are blessed, not just because of that we are doing a great job. We are just sharing our acquired knowledge with others. But teaching is a platform where we can remain happy for maximum time because we are dealing with some pure and innocent minds which are free from corruptions. But still we are not happy, we are frustrated. Because most of us follow the monotonous techniques of teaching. We must not forget that we are not only dealing with pure and innocent minds, at the same time we are dealing with some curious minds also. If we can't meet the curiosity of a child by providing some bookish knowledge, then somewhere we ourselves become an obstacle in the growth of emotional and mental development of a child. Just having some degrees and qualifying some exams is not enough to be a good teacher. Until and unless we become a good learner, we can't be a good teacher. Traveling plays a very big role in every good learner's life. As you all know, that the best way of learning is to having some practical experiences. For anybody, if teaching is a passion, then traveling is just like an open book. By traveling, our sense organs automatically acquires knowledge from diversified culture, from environment, from the nature, etc. And as a child is very much closer to the nature, so if we understand the language of nature, it is very much easier for us to understand the child's psychology also. And in this way, we can create a strong bonding with our students. We all know that when an educationist travels, he or she doesn't travel alone. The education itself travels with him. The teaching is an art of making human resources. Sometimes the artists need to reinvent their art to bring revolution. So the traveling educates educationist. It enriches the enthusiasm. So by traveling, an educationist may bring a revolutionary change in the whole education system. Thank you so much and happy Teachers' Day to all of you.
Namaskar, মই Pranjit Sharma, মই JBN মহাবিদ্যালয়ৰ ছাত্ৰ। And I agree with the topic, traveling is the best part of education. মই এইটো কাৰণে এগ্ৰি কৰোঁ, পঢ়া শুনাৰ লগতে ট্ৰেভেল কৰাটো আমাৰ কাৰণে খুব প্ৰয়োজন বা খুব দৰকাৰী। এইটো কাৰণে দৰকাৰী বুলি ভাবোঁ, আমি যিবোৰ বস্তু কিতাপ পত্ৰত পঢ়োঁ বা কিতাপ পত্ৰত জানিবলৈ পাওঁ, সেইবোৰ বস্তু আমি যেতিয়া নিজ চকুৰে গৈ নিজ চকুৰে ভিজুৱেলাইজ কৰিব পাৰিম, তেতিয়া আমাৰ বুজাত বা জনাত বেছি সুবিধা হয়। দ্বিতীয়তে আমাক থিয়ৰিটিকেল নলেজৰ লগত প্ৰেক্টিকেল নলেজৰো খুব দৰকাৰ হয়। এণ্ড আই থিংক ষ্টুডেণ্টৰ একাডেমিক কেৰিয়াৰৰ লগত এক্সকাৰশ্যন বা ফিল্ড ট্ৰিপটো বহুত দৰকাৰী। এইটো কাৰণে দৰকাৰী কাৰণ এইটো এটা পিক টাইম হয় ষ্টুডেণ্টৰ কাৰণে, য'ত বহুখিনি বস্তু শিকিব থাকে, গোটেই লাইফত বস্তু শিকিব থাকে, বাট মই ভাবোঁ এটা পিক টাইম হয় য'ত ষ্টুডেণ্টে নলেজ গেইন কৰিব লাগে। এণ্ড আই থিংক ষ্টুডেণ্ট শ্বুড ট্ৰেভেল, পিপল শ্বুড ট্ৰেভেল এৰাউণ্ড ৱৰ্ল্ডখনৰ কথা জানিব লাগে, বহুখিনি বস্তু শিকিব থাকে, এণ্ড ট্ৰেভেল কৰিলে বহুখিনি বস্তু শিকা যায় বা বুজা যায়। চ' আই থিংক এভৰিৱান শুড ট্ৰেভেল কৰিব লাগে, এক্সপ্ল'ৰ দ্য ৱৰ্ল্ড। ডেটছ অল, থেংক ইউ।
Hello, my name is Nikki Kalita and I'm a teacher in Don Bosco School, Guwahati, and I'm also a translator. So first of all, I would like to say thanks to Byatikram Group in collaboration with Incredible India. They have chosen me for Teachers Day special. Thank you so much, Byatikram Group. They have asked me a question that why traveling is important in education. See, we all love traveling. In nowadays, आजकल तो लोगों का हॉबी बन चुका है ट्रैवल करना. So apart from all this, I believe that yes, traveling is indeed very important in education, because education is like a theoretical part, and traveling is more of a practical part. It gives you a practical knowledge about life, about everything, because by traveling we get to learn about so many different things, like different culture. We get to learn about different people and their personalities. We get to learn about different cities, countries, like that. So I believe that yes, traveling is indeed very important in education, because हम जितना ज़्यादा ट्रैवल करेंगे हमारा जो दिमाग है उतना ज़्यादा फ्रेश रहेगा, उतना ज़्यादा खुलेगा, उतना ज़्यादा वाइड होगा. सो हम चीज़ों को जो है वो उतनी जल्दी आसान तरीके से ग्रहण कर सकते हैं, अपने अंदर ले सकते हैं. सो येस, वी सी दैट स्कूल्स में जो है काफ़ी देखा जाता है कि स्टूडेंट्स को बाहर टूर पे लेके जाते हैं. वाई? बिकॉज इट वाइडर देयर माइंड्स, इट जो है वो बच्चों को खुली छूट दी जाती है, बच्चे जो है ग्रो ज़्यादा कर पाते हैं. तो येस, ट्रैवलिंग इज़ वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट इन एजुकेशन. सो थैंक यू.
নমস্কাৰ, মই শাহিন নাছৰিন. I'm a student and a theatre enthusiast. প্ৰথমতে মই ব্যতিক্ৰম ডিজিটেল চেনেলটোক ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপন কৰিব বিচাৰিছোঁ এই সুযোগটো দিয়াৰ বাবে. আজি এটা বিশেষ টপিক লৈ আহিছোঁ, এণ্ড দ্যাট ইজ ট্ৰেভেলিং প্লেজ এন ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট পাৰ্ট ইন এডুকেশ্যন. আমি চবেই ট্ৰেভেল কৰি ভাল পাওঁ. খুব কম মানুহ থাকে যোনে ট্ৰেভেল কৰি বেয়া পায়, বা নাই তেনেকুৱা মানুহ যোনে ট্ৰেভেল কৰি বেয়া পায়. মইতো খুব ভাল পাওঁ. বাট কেতিয়াবা আমি ভাবিছোঁনে ট্ৰেভেলিং কিয় ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট হয়, বাট কিয় আমাৰ লাইফত ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট হয়, কি ৰোল প্লে কৰে. But one of the role it plays an essential role in education. আজি তাৰে বিষয়ে কিছুমান কথা কৈ আছোঁ মই. প্ৰথম হ'ল we get to know new languages. আমি নতুন ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজ শিকিব পাৰোঁ, এটা জাগাৰ নতুন ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজ শিকিব পাৰোঁ. কেনেকৈ সেই ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজটো ইউজ কৰিছে সিহঁতে সেইটো শিকিব পাৰোঁ. সিহঁতে কেনেকৈ সেই বস্তু, কেনেকৈ সিহঁতৰ একচেণ্টটো কেনেকুৱা, সিহঁতৰ ইন'টেশ্যনটো কেনেকুৱা, আমি সেইটো শিকিব পাৰোঁ. এতিয়া ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজটো আমি ঘৰতো শিকিব পাৰোঁ, ইউটিউবত ভিডিঅ' চাই আমি শিকিব পাৰোঁ. বাট ট্ৰেভেলিঙৰ কথা কিয় কৈছোঁ? ট্ৰেভেলিং কৰিলে আমি সেই ল্যাঙ্গুৱেজটোৰ ইউজেছটো গম পাওঁ, সিহঁতে কেনেকৈ ইউজ কৰে, তাৰে একচেণ্টটো কেনেকুৱা সেইটো গম পাওঁ. এণ্ড দ্যাট ইজ ভেৰি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট. ছেকেণ্ডলি, আমি ডিফাৰেণ্ট কালচাৰ, ডিফাৰেণ্ট ট্ৰেডিশ্যনৰ কথা গম পাওঁ. এণ্ড হেভিং নলেজ এবাউট ডিফাৰেণ্ট কালচাৰ, different tradition plays an important part in education, and that is very important. Thirdly, ami nature kotha gom pao. We get to explore the nature. Ida kenege ami explore ajikali khub kom manu ase jone nature explore kori bahirot ঘূৰি ফুৰিব. সব মানুহে ঘৰৰ ভিতৰত আবদ্ধ হৈ থাকে. স্ক্ৰীন টাইমিং ইউজ হৈ গৈছে. এটা মই কৈ আছোঁ, বাট ময়ো নিজেই সেইটো কৰোঁ. বাট that is one of the reason why আজিকালি মানুহে ইমান আজিকালি আমি শুনিব পাই থাকোঁ নিউজত ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন, পেনিক এটেক্স, এনজাইটিজ, ছুইচাইড কেছেছ ইমান বাঢ়ি গৈছে. কিয়? that is the reason. মানুহ বাহিৰত নোলায়. এতিয়া বাৰু আমি পেণ্ডেমিকৰ কাৰণে ঘৰৰ ভিতৰতে আছোঁ, কিন্তু আগতেও মানুহ নোলাইছিল. চ' মই ক'ব বিচাৰোঁ যে apart from education, it is also very important for our health, for our physical fitness, mental well-being. So traveling as a whole is very important, and I think it's evidence enough that it plays an important part in education. Thank you.
Namaskar, greetings to all. My name is Namrata Gogoi. I recently passed my 12th board examinations and I'm currently pursuing designing. First of all, since it's on the occasion of Teachers' Day, I would like to, convey my heartfelt, a very happy Teachers' Day to all the teachers out there. And also, I would like to thank Shubhangi Goswami and Byatikram Digital for giving me this platform to speak on the topic. Traveling is the best part of education. And honestly, I couldn't agree more. Let's say in India, when you're of a certain young age, you are allowed a lot of freedom. You're allowed to explore your hobbies, your ideas, and your talents, and you're allowed to take part in a lot of co-curricular activities and go on different trips to your relatives, to trips in general with your family. And it's a very bright and vibrant childhood for most of the people. But as you grow up, people start telling you things like, "Ita kintu serious hobo holde, class 10 pala nohoy," or something like, "You should solely focus only on studies now, and until you go to some kind of college or get a job, or it just continues." And at that time, you kind of develop a fear that, okay, maybe I should, study my textbooks seriously. But the main thing that they miss out on telling you is that you also need outer experiences and exposures to fulfill your growth and to nurture yourself, to actually grow physically and mentally. And after that, you have to choose a stream and you kind of start living a monotonous life, a very tiring life. You go to school, you attend classes, come back, attend coachings and tuitions, come back, study, and then the next day it's the same. So I feel like in that area of my education life, and now I'm speaking these things before the pattern change in the education system and also before the pandemic. And at that time it was, I mainly missed having school field trips or excursions, something that would give us practical exposure and would help us, realize why this phenomenon takes place, and something like that. So that is my first point. And the second point is that not only for any kind of textbook related education, but also we should also be very aware of what's going on around us. Maybe it can be in the world or in your state itself. Actually, my mom was transferred to, she's also a professor, by the way. When she was transferred to, let's say, it was a kind of a rural town. It's a district. And when she went there, one night when she was sleeping, she heard, and this was in the time of the winter season, like December, I think. She heard a lot of chattering going around, and she heard a lot of people, speaking loudly, and then, right next to her relative's house. And then when she opened the window, she saw that people were actually lighting up fire in the fireplace, and they were gathering and they were talking. And so she was confused, like, what happened? It's 2 a.m. And then she woke my mommy and my aunt, and then she asked, what happened? What's going on? Is there some kind of robbery or theft or any kind of misfortune? Then my aunt replied that isn't the misfortune that you're thinking. The main misfortune is that they don't have enough clothes or any kind of warm blankets to keep them warm at night, and they don't even have a decent roof over their heads, and that is why they have to come out of their huts and build a fire, and sometimes they fall asleep beside the fire talking to each other or sipping tea just to keep themselves warm during the winter season. And when the next day the sun comes up and they get some kind of sunlight, then they fall asleep. And that is how their schedule continues. And it is so disheartening to hear something like that happen in someone's life almost every day. And it's so, frequent and casual. You just can't imagine the things that the people in those regions go through. And so when my mom came back and then she told me, I told her immediately that take whatever clothes we have, take from our family, all the extra clothes, take from our relatives, our neighbors, and we actually took all of them, and I went along with her, and then I distributed, and after that they could sleep peacefully. And just for a one night's sleep they had to sacrifice so much. And we are not really aware of these things unless we actually go and experience them in person, and unless we actually witness those things with our own eyes, we can actually feel that, okay, so these things also happen in other people's life. And it's very sad, and mainly to be aware of all the current affairs or all the events that go around, not just near our city, but you should also go a bit beyond that. And mainly because of that, I feel the outer exposure and traveling is so necessary. And again, I'm speaking before this situation and the whole COVID-19 pandemic. And that was my second point, to be aware, as a person, as a human being. And the third point would be, to have a great experience, to go with your family or your friends and, witness all the great things that the world has to offer, all the, beautiful natural things. And, and when I went to Sibsagar and I saw the Rongghor and the Karenghor, I got to know that they were actually made with a sticky paste of borale mas, and then I think it was kind of sticky rice, bora saul that we say, and they used egg yolks of swans and ducks, and they made that paste, and then they used that paste to stick the walls in those monuments. And I feel like that was so interesting to know. I actually went there and I actually saw the monument that was made of entirely natural substances. And I feel like, that was a very enlightening trip for me. I could learn so many things about those monuments that I wouldn't have known if I would have searched on Wikipedia. So yes, I feel like for those kind of, great experiences where you can actually learn a lot of things by, witnessing it, mainly for that reason also. And yeah, mostly for those three things. And concluding my speech, I would like to again thank my friend Shubhangi and Byatikram Digital for giving me this platform, and I hope you all do well. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Bhargav Kakoti, working as a PGT Computer Science in Maharishi Vidya Mandir, Shilpukhuri. Today I am going to throw some light as to why traveling is considered as the best part of education. Well, being in the teaching profession gives me quite a lot of time to travel personally and to explore new places, thanks to the vacations and all the amazing festivals that our country has to offer. Along with that, being in this profession also gives me a lot of chance to be on various educational tours and various personal tours also. So from my experience, I would like to say why traveling is considered as the best part of education. Firstly, whenever we visit any new place, we are excited because we don't know about the new place, which refreshes our mind even after the trip is over. And during the trip also, from my personal experience, I am saying that the mind becomes blank and refreshed, and even after many days, even after many days after the trip. Hence, after returning, we are able to be more productive, more creative, and we are able to be concentrate better. Same happens with the children. Just after we return from any educational excursion, the students gets refreshed and along with their studies and classes, and they can attend to their studies and classes with much more concentration than before. Therefore, we can conclude that traveling improves concentration. Secondly, traveling helps us a lot in learning a lot of things about the people of a particular place, about their culture, about their discipline, etc. By observing people from different parts of the country and around the world, we can take in and learn what's better over there and what's not so good there, not so good over here. So it gives us a lot of scope in learning. Also, traveling opens up our mind and takes it more wider so that we become much more aware of the opportunities around the world. Thirdly, we can say that traveling helps us in enhancing life skills like punctuality. For this, I would like to share a small incident which happened with me. So I was on this trip to Bangkok last year with my friends, and we booked a day trip to Safari World. For that, we were given a location, and what we need to do, we need to reach that place, and from that place, the travel agency would pick us up. So the time given to us was 8 a.m. and to be very frank, we messed it up and we left our hotel a bit late at around 7:30 a.m. On the way, we were stuck at traffic, and what I did, I just messaged the tour operator that we are stuck in traffic and so will be late like around 10 minutes. The operator immediately replied that they cannot wait for us even for about 10 minutes. Which messed up our day completely, and we had to go to the Safari World at our own expense. This incident taught me one of the most important life lessons, that is to be punctual. From that day, I tried to be punctual at all cases, as far as possible, obviously. Next, I would like to say that traveling makes us more aware of the things around us. So in 2018, I was in this trip to Sikkim, and for that we booked a place called Natula Pass. We were too excited for this day trip to Natula since we heard a lot of great things about this place from other fellow travelers. The travel agency said that the permit and all the necessary formalities have been done and we are ready to go for the trip. So what we did, we were excited for the trip and we dropped into the vehicle. After we went for some distance, what happened? The car stopped for breakfast. And the driver said that we are not going to Natula Point, but we will be seeing only a few places in and around Natula. We felt cheated because our main intention was to go to Natula and not to other option. But we had no option but to just follow wherever the driver had to take us. We realized our mistake, that we believed everything that the travel agency said us. So we learned a very important lesson, that we need to be aware at all times, not just during travel but at all the situations in our life, so that we don't mess up our decisions. These were just a few of my experiences which I felt that I must share with you all. Similarly, I am sure that the children also during traveling gets to learn a lot of things. As they say, the more you travel, the more stories you have to tell. With this, I would like to conclude my speech by saying that keep traveling, keep learning, and since we are in the middle of a pandemic, so stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I am Satyaparna Chaudhary. It has been almost a decade to be a part of the teaching profession. Presently, I am working in Excel Public School, Lokra, as an TGT Social Science teacher, a premier educational institution situated in Lokra. I would like to extend my special thanks to Archana Sharma, who made me a part of Byatikram MASDO in collaboration with Incredible India, Indian Tourism Northeast. It is my pleasure to be a part of the Byatikram group. The question given to me is, do you think given training on travel management? My answer is very positive, a very positive reply to the question. Northeast has immense traveling potential ranging from historical monuments to wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. Traveling can enhance the teaching profession, the classroom situation are much more 100 times better. Now in today's world we have got technological advancement. With the technological advancement, the shift has come from the theoretical learning to practical learning. So, the students has to be given an extra edge to come out successful in this competitive world. The need for students to excel in critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, leadership, time management can be enhanced with more and more hands-on learning. And me being a social science teacher, have been teaching social science for so many years, I have seen that when I teach history, geography, or civics in the class, a much more better and enriching experience can be gathered by students if I take them to places where they can relate what they have studied in the book. Experience learning is one of the most important way of making the student aware of what is going on around them. Apart from that, traveling increases the civic engagement skills of a student. It helps them to become more organized. It helps them to be a part of the community. It helps the teacher and the school and the students to connect themselves to the community around them. Now, for example, if I have to teach the students about environmental degradation, we have to take them outside to make them understand what is pollution doing to our environment. Our hands-on learning experience or learning by experience is the most important way to inculcate practical knowledge in students. So, traveling, I do very much feel that teachers should be also be given courses on travel management so that each and every subject can be related to practical demonstration, to practical traveling, and to practicality that is very much applicable in today's world. Northeastern region, for example, if I'm teaching history, Northeastern region, that is especially Assam, which consists the rich heritage of our Ahom kingdom, can be explored so well if we take them to the various historical places where Ahoms have left a mark of their glorious rule of 600 years. Maybe it be Sivsagar, maybe it be the beautiful Ranghar, etc., etc. Apart from that, Northeastern region has got a variety of geographical differences. Now, if we take our children to Arunachal Pradesh and show them the rich flora and fauna that exists there, they will have a much more hands-on knowledge which will help them to understand the geography of Assam more better. So as a teacher of social science, as a teacher teaching students of different levels, I have seen teaching becomes more and more effective if the students are given hands-on experience. So traveling is a necessary part of education. It is one of the most important components of practical education, and it is one of the most important requirements in today's world. Thank you.
বিশ্বাস কৰোঁ যে ট্ৰেভেলিং ইজ দ্য বেষ্ট পাৰ্ট অফ এডুকেশ্যন বিকজ আমি যেতিয়া পঢ়া শুনা কৰোঁ আমি বেলেগ বেলেগ জেগাৰ কথা গম পাওঁ, বেলেগ বেলেগ ৰুলছ ৰেগুলেশ্যনছ হওক, কালচাৰ্ছ হওক, ফেষ্টিভেলছ হওক, আৰু বহুত কথা আমি গম পাওঁ এবাউট ডিফাৰেণ্ট প্লেচেছ। বাট যেতিয়া আমি প্ৰেক্টিকেলি ট্ৰেভেল কৰোঁ আৰু এইবোৰ জেগাত গৈ পেলাই আমি নিজে এক্সপিৰিয়েঞ্চ কৰোঁ সেইবোৰ বস্তু, the knowledge that we gain is beyond everything else. So I really think that traveling helps us a lot to learn a lot.
Hello everyone, this is Nirmali Sharma. I am working as a teacher at Maharshi Vidya Mandir Public School, Bekuchi. And in this auspicious occasion, I would like to wish to all my respected teachers, my colleagues, a very happy Teachers' Day. It's my pleasure that Byatikram Group, in collaboration with India Tourism, has chosen me for this show. So, the question given to me is that, would you prefer as a teacher to travel in different locations to educate the students? So, my answer is a big yes. Almost every one of us agrees that life's real education happens outside the classroom. Though classroom education is also very essential in one's life, but they are the one way of learning. They are not the only. In this teaching learning process, both the sides, means teachers and the students, should be curious to find out or to gather new knowledge and to explore the new things every day. So, in this case, traveling is the best means to achieve that. By traveling, one gets an opportunity not only to learn about that particular thing or that particular area, but at the same time, he get a chance or he or she get a chance to know about different languages, to know about other cultures, to know about nature, to know about history, to know about social skills. So by traveling, one can also learn to be independent. And most important thing is that traveling enables one to know about own self. As a teacher, I think that it is very essential to know about own self, own capabilities, own abilities, own skills, strengths and weaknesses too. Because if you know about yourself, then only you can handle or you can manage the various problems that occurs in day-to-day teaching learning process. So, according to my view, traveling in different locations is the best means to provide or to gather knowledge. The only reason behind this is that it helps the student to understand what they have learned in class in real situation. Educational tours, field trips have many benefits for students. Students gain authentic knowledge and explore new things when they travel. So, education through travel creates long-lasting memory. This is also true that frequent traveling in different locations is not so easy task. But as far as possible, we must try to educate our students in real situation. For that, teachers, parents, school authority and government have to work, all have to be collaborate and have to take crucial steps, because traveling is the most powerful part in real life education. Thank you.
When I hear, I may forget, but when I see, I'll remember it forever. As a person, I feel that this very quote should be the basis of learning, of education, and of gaining knowledge. In any field, in any subject, or in any way, when we see, when we experience, when we travel, we not only learn new things, but we grow as a human being in the very first place. Growing is a process that every individual has its own perspective to give, but traveling can be a part that could change this perspective to a whole new different level. We, as persons, as human beings, always need the arms of nature to learn, to grow, to know where we have mistaken. The chirping birds, the new leaves in the spring trees should always give us new learnings. And when we travel, we learn them better. We learn the values that Mother Earth has to give us. I take traveling as a way to know nature more that teaches me to be a better person every day.
Hello everyone, my name is Samaragi Kaishop. I am a student of BA Psychology from University of Science and Technology Meghalaya, USTM. So the topic today I am going to speak is traveling is the best part of education. So why a student need to travel? If it comes to my part, I would like to say that a student gets learning or teaches or acquires their knowledge soon when it comes to a practical way. So if we go with the history subjects like history or anything like politics or social studies or environmental studies, if we get knowledge in a practical way, if we come to the history part, like if we go to historical places that is reachable to us obviously, and then if we go there and we see the monuments there, we get to visualize the things that we have learned. It becomes for a student, it becomes very much easy to gain their knowledge and to absorb their learning, the knowledge they gain through a theoretical way that they gain inside the four walls of a school, of a classroom. They can relate it in a practical way when they visualize it in front of them and gain the knowledge in a proper way. So for me, it's my personal view that traveling has a very, very important impact in learning in a student's life, because visualized learning is more important for a student. When we get to learn things theoretically and then soon if we can relate it in a practical way, things remains in our mind for a long period of time. So I'd like to tell my juniors and all of my friends that keep traveling, keep learning things more and more possible for you, and obviously have a bright future ahead. Good luck. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Moshmi Bhattacharjee, a PGT Political Science, Maharishi Vidyamandir School. I'm very glad that I have been asked to speak on traveling as a part of education. Let me start with a Sanskrit sloka. Yastu sancharate deshana, yastu sevate panditana, tasya vistarito buddhistalev binduri mambhasi. The meaning of this sloka is the intelligence of a person who travels in different countries and associates with scholars expand just as a drop of oil expands in water. And this sloka sounds very apt and justifies that traveling can enhance our learning and can form an integral part of education. Now, when we go for traveling to various places, it widens the mental horizon of ours and our intellect. When we travel, we gather experience, and wisdom springs from experience. Moreover, traveling provides us with first-hand knowledge, and we can also learn a lot about different people, the countries, nation, places, culture, etc., etc. So when we go for traveling, we are not only learning theoretically, But whatever we have learned theoretically in the class, we get a practical aspect of it. Impact on our lives. So this experiential learning will be enhanced or could be possible if we take the students out of the classroom and give them some practical knowledge, and that is by traveling. That is probably one of the reasons why schools always conduct educational tours and trips. We can say that the learning of the subject like geography, history, language remains incomplete if we do not take up traveling. So when we go for traveling and we learn a lot, we acquire knowledge not confined to the classroom alone. I would tell you why we need traveling and why am I saying that it enhances our learning and it is a part of education. So when we go for traveling, the first thing that we do is preparation. That gives us life skill. We go for packing, we go for ticketing, and then we prepare ourselves to undertake the journey. And when we go for traveling, many things come under that. We learn language, we go for map reading also, we get to know the culture, we see the various places. When we visit museums and palaces and galleries, we learn new things. We also develop certain skill when we go for traveling. Not only that, we gain some new experience. Sometimes we go to mountainous region, we go for paragliding also. That is something daring for us, and we learn that particular thing also. Most important part is socializing. Social skills are also developed. Not only that, we learn to be independent, and another very interesting aspect of traveling is that we discover ourselves. We learn about ourselves. We learn our true potential, and maybe we were not aware of our persona when we are in the classroom or the students are in the classroom. So when we take the students outside the classroom and we go for traveling, we can see other side of our personalities. We learn by yourself. See, when we educate the children, when we teach the children in the class, that is theoretical knowledge that we give them. But when the students take up traveling, they learn by themselves. That is experiential learning. There are no teachers, no books. These are not required when we gain some knowledge. Another aspect of traveling is that you get to know the various nations. You develop a love for the different places. You develop love for different people, their food habits, their culture, their language. You see, there's a famous book of Rudyard Kipling, Kim. Okay, and when Kim undertakes the journey, here we can see a very good description, vivid description has been given of various places. Okay, and from the time immemorial, traveling has been considered as a part of education. That's why various foreign travelers have visited various countries, to name a few, given some. Okay, and Fahian, who had come as travelers and their education was complete when they got to see the people around the world, they got to know the nations around the world. And when we visit different places, we also know about the political system of that country. Okay, so these things are not taught in the class, but these are the first-hand information that the student grasps when they go for traveling. So I would always say that we should always undertake a journey
go to far distant places and know the world around. Not only that, we should also know our locality, our state, our region. We know that the government has come up with, I would say the railway authorities of India had come up with Palace of Wales. Okay, that is a train which will give a very vivid experience of Rajasthan's historical sites. And I would say that the learning of history and geography and various other subjects remain incomplete if we do not visit the historical sites. I'll give you one example from my life. When I undertook a journey to Rudraprayag and Devprayag, and I saw the confluence of three rivers, I was so excited because I could feel, I could experience the charm of that confluence. I could see and I could narrate that to my students. Not only that, we sometimes take the children out of the classroom, and every year I take my students to State Legislative Assembly to experience the procedures adopted in the Legislative Assembly. So there are various places of interest, historical, political, cultural, various other places where the students can learn. And nowadays, education is not limited to books alone. We cannot confine our learning within the classroom. We should take the students out, and that is how the students gain a lot of information which will be an enduring one that they would never forget. That is what I want to say, that yes, indeed traveling becomes an important part of education, and we should take our classroom to real life to get a respite from classroom teaching and learning. Thank you.
Working as a PhD Commerce, Maharishi Vidya Mandir Senior Secondary School, Silpukhuri. Today I am going to speak about why traveling is considered as a best part of education. Education is the process of gaining knowledge which is not confined within the four walls of classroom, but it goes beyond that. We human beings are full of inquisitiveness, want to discover the unknown and reveal the unseen. This curiosity leads us to travel. It breaks the monotony of our life. It brings us close to the nature. It widens our mind and also has a great educative value. Education through travel creates long-lasting memories. Field trips play an integral role in the learning system, and also organizing day out have many benefits for the students. Being a teacher, I always want my students to understand what they have seen in books or learn in class to experience in real situations. Real experience is one of the ways by which we gain practical information that hardly anyone forgets. Memories created out of practical experience are probably the most lasting. During traveling, we visit different places and come in contact with people who speak different languages and of different culture. It provides opportunity to gain first-hand knowledge. Thus, traveling contributes a lot in shaping our life. So, I would like to conclude with one of my favorite quotes by St. Augustine. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only a page. I personally used to travel a lot, but from last few months not being able to do because of this pandemic situation. I hope everything will be normal soon. Till then, I request everyone to stay at home, do not come out unless it is very necessary, and stay safe by taking necessary precautionary measures. Thank you.